Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another reaction. Alright, another TikTok reaction. Creepy, scary, weird, strange, whatever the title is, that is what we're reacting to for today. Alright, this is a good video, a bunch of good clips in here. You wanna make sure you don't skip anything. Alright, so stay tuned and let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go. Effect, man. What y'all think? Y'all think he's 60? He look about 40, like 40, 45, something like that. I don't know. It might be a Mandela effect for sure. He look too young, bro, for 60. That's crazy.
We in America
it's how it be sometimes.
Reality shows have warped our idea of what a hero is or what the truth is. So tonight, I'd like to dedicate this award to those who remind us of our virtues, who remind us of the truth. Sir Charles Chaplin battled McCarthyism into exile. To Christopher Steele, who tried to pull a thorn out of the paw of an ungrateful beast. To Christine Blasey Ford, to Colin Kaepernick. He'll stand for the anthem when the anthem stands for him. And to one of my friends, my good friends, and one of the greatest artists of our time, Robert De Niro, whose life was threatened also this week, along with many other incredibly decent people who bring joy to the world. We in America are misinformed. Reality shows have...
Pay attention to this. Pay attention.
Where are my kids?
Pay attention to this.
Get these gems.
I want to see that movie. That movie looked interesting. Let's see what she said.
You know why that 1% exists? Because of the one thing that you don't know nothing about. They utilize universal law, and that's what keeps them from gaining their karma. Because they're operating under universal law. And because you are ignorant to universal law. As I told you once before, it is your ignorance that is killing you. They are utilizing universal law as to the reason why they don't get their karma. They know it better than you do. And they implement it in everything that they do. The moment that you are born and they get your child's footprints, let me tell you what they do. Which is why I told you about getting birth certificates and social security cards, not to do that. What they do is, once they get that footprint, after they get that footprint, then they're doing astrology on that child. They have top-notch astrologers. When they do that top-notch astrology on that child, they're going to be able to look at you and see what you're going to become in the future. They take a piece of your DNA. They put you in a database at the Vatican. They put you under a celestial QV trust, the Vatican Trust. They create a profile on your life. And based upon what comes out for you, because now your parents and their ignorance contracted you to this construct and put you in a state of property. I want to break down the universal law so you guys understand the reason why.
Dang. And this is why females should have babies at home. Forget going to the hospital, man. Because they just gonna indoctrinate them anyway. It's like just signing your baby over for like, no reason. Like, you're not getting nothing out of it. Just, That's crazy. Sad world we live in. Oh.
Lower it. Oh no. He have a harness on. That's Jesus Christ. Wow.
Going on? I'm just trying to hurt itself?
You ever go outside and it feel like someone is watching you? You ever wake up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning for no reason, but it feel like someone is watching you? What if I told you it's a group of aliens that watch our reality like it's just a TV show? We are all just characters, thinking that our world is really real, but it's not real. When you are first born, it's lights, camera, and action. People in Hollywood get paid to act like someone that they're not. It's acting, actions, ions and ions. We are all ions that's acting or action in this false matrix reality. Remember, it's lights, camera, and action. Life is just a stage, and the stars above our head represents the performance stage. The brighter you are, the brighter your star actually shines over top of our head. Just like when it's time for you to perform on stage, you have lights above your head so everyone can see you shine, or everyone can see you act. These lights are there for a reason. They represent the lights or the stars above our head because our spirits are now acting in the matrix. This is why elders used to tell campfire stories about how the world was really created. But now we don't have no more campfire stories. We have Hollywood replacing the true stories of creation. The Matrix just mimics and copies everything the universe do. So when you look at Hollywood, you gotta understand it's just a fake image of what's really going on. It's the reason why when you watch Netflix, HBO, or any kind of movie selections, they give you categories to choose from. Action, animation, comedy. You know, people that want to be clowns, they fit into the comedy section. People that want to be cops, they fit into the crime section. People that want to be spiritually woke, you fit into the sci-fi category. Every time a child is born, you fit into the new movie category. You know how when people wake up and get spiritual knowledge, you fit into the sci-fi category. And you know how you try to wake up other people? They might not wake up because they are still living in a Harvard category. These are not just categories. These sections represents different realities we are living in. So when we go buy movie tickets and eat our popcorn and our hot dogs and we think we are just having a good time, understand that there are aliens that's buying their movie tickets and eating their popcorn and watching our reality like, hey, we just having a good time. You ever feel like time is just moving faster out of nowhere? That's because these aliens have remotes and they are fast forwarding our reality. You ever feel like time is not moving at all? That's because these aliens just pause our reality. You ever have deja vu? It's just these aliens rewinding our reality so it make it seem like we already did it before. Our reality to them is just a holographic universal TV program. Now we gotta find a way to get out of this program so we can program our own reality. For more info, ebook, my link in the bio. You ever go outside and it feel like someone is watching?
Hit the gym right here. If you truly want to stop having social anxiety and you truly want to get better at talking, bro, stop recording yourself. You ain't gotta be a entertainer or influencer or a content creator. Like, bro, you could literally just be, you know what I'm saying, a person that works a regular job or a person that just has a business that has nothing to do with video creation. Bro, still record yourself, bro. Record yourself. Like, the more you record yourself, bro, and talk to a camera or just see the way that you talk, the more that you will learn your mannerisms, okay? Not even gonna lie. A big reason, like a good reason why, like, bro, it's so easy for me to talk around anybody is because, bro, I've been recording myself since I was 15, bro. To hit the gym right here. If you truly want to stop having...
Y'all gotta stop, like, you know what I'm saying? Stop being scared of the camera, too. Like, you know, step out your comfort zone a little bit, man. For sure. You never know, it can change your life. Just saying.
Hey.
Pay attention.
I saw this already. I'm
Who
not gonna lie, but I'm gonna let
remembers
this
when
play.
we was talking about
This
Project
was
BB?
interesting.
This is a realistic hologram. It looks like a portal opened up in the middle of the sky. Could this be a test run for Project BB? I'm just asking. Curious. And AI now is to the point to where it can deceive what you perceive with your two eyes. That's why we gotta look through our third eye. Now I want y'all to think about something real quick. Just imagine that same hologram playing in a time of chaos. What will people think? How will people react? And if you did see something like this in a time of chaos, hypothetically speaking, just know that technology is out there and that technology is real. Let me know what y'all think about this strange hologram that was seen in the sky after award shows in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. Follow me on YouTube if y'all want that exclusive content. And by the way, this video is for entertainment purposes.
Exactly. Now, just looking at that, that's crazy, man. Right there. If they're able to do that, right? What else are they able to do? You know? That's just the beginning, dude. That's just the beginning. They got more coming. And they can, like, stage something fake. People will probably fall for it. You know? That's interesting, though.
Bill Gates has done it again. I've had it. He's crossed the line way too many times. Bill Gates, I'm coming for your GMO head top. Bill Gates just bought out the apple cider company Bragg's and changes the ingredients.
Bragg's apple cider vinegar.
Bill Gates bought it.
Oh, God. Bill Gates now owns one of the few natural healthy tonics we had, and he's putting the apples in it with
the appeal?
The appeal, the creepy-ass...
Oh, what is that? That's like a coating that they spray on the outside of vegetables?
It's like some schmegma to keep the apples preserved longer.
Is it just apples?
For Costco apples to stay fresher longer.
But what is in it?
I would love to know. I would love to know.
These motherfuckers, they get stuff out there before anybody's aware that these things are a problem, and then like years later, you're like, what's in it?
Talc, asbestos.
Yeah.
And then you don't find out till later. So it's like talking about this and just being like, wow, being suspicious about like, should apples last for 4 weeks? And then I guess he owns half of the McDonald's potatoes for the...
Well, I like to say RIP to Bragg's apple cider vinegar. This used to be the go-to apple cider vinegar brand. Apple cider vinegar is very good for you. But after Bill Gates touched it, not no more. He's changing the ingredients. Who knows what he's putting in there. And after he's done with it, no longer buy Bragg's. Don't even buy their apple cider vinegar. It's not going to be the same, I promise you. Apparently, the hundreds of acres of GMO food he has was not enough for him. He had to come for another healthy thing. So I'm just letting y'all know, watch out for this. Go find another apple cider vinegar brand if you want to get apple cider vinegar. And if you guys like this content, make sure to follow me, like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's get it.
This is crazy, man. This is the same dude that created Microsoft. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, go work on computers, man. Why are you touching, like, stuff like that? Like, I don't get that. He should have no business with food, none of that. And you know, they could probably be using that as a cover up of why he messing up on all this stuff. You know? But dude, you need to go back to Microsoft, Bill Gates, man. That's sad. You messing up everything.
It says September 12, 1971, 43 heroes gave their lives in the Attica riots. That's what this says. Thank me later. That's the code on that map. Check it out. On the map, it says September.
Have y'all been hearing what's going on in Ohio and in Massachusetts?
Outbreak of pneumonia. It reported hospitals overwhelmed with sick children. Classes on the verge of suspension and a suspicion authorities were covering up the epidemic.
It's been the same thing that's going on in China. Denmark is affecting, if not thousands, millions of kids. Started in China with the mycoplasma pneumonia that's targeting children. For y'all who don't know, that is a side effect of the Pfizer COVID vaccine that's in a reaction pathway. So we got China, Ohio, Denmark,
Massachusetts, Taiwan, Sweden, Netherlands, so many other places that this occurring at right now. This a bacterial infection. This ain't a new virus or a new sickness. See, what happening is people going to the hospital and their immune system is suppressed. I wonder why. What the fuck had happened a couple years ago, 2020? Y'all gotta know that they are aiming for another pandemic. But y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section about this shit. And do you stay in Ohio or Massachusetts? Y'all let me.
You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
It's 555.
Yes. Okay.
5555.
Okay. 55. You heard that? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything?
Check this out, everybody. Check this out. They're getting us prepared. Right in your face.
What movie is this? I gotta see it. It's called the Nep. Lepton. I don't know how to pronounce it. Well, I see it. Leftman. Okay, Leftman. That's what's up, man.
We literally came down here to let people know, hey, we finna wake up. Hey, this the last days. Hey, we finna take over the planet. We finna get this shit back popping. This is why they needed all these new distractions. They needed to up the celebrities, the motherfucking Instagram, all this shit. They needed to up the anti-video game. They needed porn. They needed to do all this shit to stop us. They didn't need all this
You
extra
got a
shit.
point.
And on top of that, the fucking planets was aligned. And I told you, we came down here because we like, man, we just finna come up here and see what our family up to. Like, this is literally why I came down here. I came down here because it was like, man, we in the end days, they finna get free. I might as well go see what my niggas on because it is what it is. Let's check up on family. And all of us been doing this shit ever since we landed down, since about 1997. Since around 1997, we just be coming down here. I'm talking about top souls. I'm talking about important people from the celestial family. I'm talking about we all different. We all built different. Trust me, you built different too. Trust me, you built different too. But y'all just not like us. And this is no ego attached. This is real shit. I'm telling you all real shit. I mean, shit gonna get revealed anyways. Look, the proof is in the pudding. I already told you they started all this shit, all this extra shit as soon as we started coming down here. That should be proof enough. They didn't need all this extra shit back then. Look at what the fuck I'm talking to you on. Nigga, that's an iPhone. The fuck? They didn't have an iPhone back then, and they was still able to control y'all. They couldn't control us. We was the ADHD. We the problem children. We problematic. This is why they gotta keep our consciousness. Look at how they doing the kids right now. They making kids believe they got you programmed to TikTok. Keep your conscious. They don't want you to know anything. They don't want you to sit down and meditate for just 5 minutes.
Facts, man.
We literally can't.
That's facts right there.
Dealing with disrespect. Top 5 ways to deal with someone who is rude or disrespectful to you. 1. Act bored or unimpressed. When someone is being disrespectful or toxic, instead of being angry or nagging them to change, be bored or turned off. This denies them the reaction and power they crave, and motivates them to be desirable again. 2. Establish clear boundaries. Let the person know what behavior you will not tolerate. Be calm but assertive when you communicate your limits. 3. Use humor to diffuse tension. Responding with lighthearted humor can disarm a rude person. It shows you're not easily affected by their behavior, and often it can lighten the mood. 4. Practice empathy and understanding. Sometimes understanding why a person is being rude can be helpful. Consider if they're having a bad day or if there's a deeper issue. 5. Choose to disengage. If all else fails, remove yourself from the situation. Disengaging shows that you value your peace and well-being over winning an argument or having the last word. Dealing with disrespect. Top 5 ways to deal with.
That probably works, right? Pretty sure it works, man.
Real quick, what's the difference between giants and titans? Well, titans are Earth's self-defense system. So you think of Attack on Titan. You know how you seen them big ass things? That's Earth's self-defense system. That motherfucker finna activate very soon. You finna see a lot of motherfucking titans. There's one in the Grand Canyon. There's like a 6 or 7 around the Earth. There's one in the Bermuda Triangle. There's one in China near sort of where the Great Wall of Tartaria is. If you know, you know. There's one in Canada. There's one in all the major continents. Let's just put it like that. You remember Hawaii? You remember that island that looked like a dude? I think it was Lahaina or Maui. The way they shot a laser at the island, it looked like a giant or a titan from the side. If you took a map, like a Google map, above it, it looked like a person sleeping in a fetal position. It's almost like they're trying to stop something. Giants are creatures that have been here for a long time. They tried to hide them out of history so you wouldn't know. They were in Tartaria. You can get a couple of books, you know what I'm saying? A lot of books they try to hide, and some people say, well, these books are fictitious that you mentioned, and sometimes, like, you know, the James W. Lee book, I know some people say, even in the front of the book, it says, this book is fictitious. They got to put that stuff out in order to publish it, right? Because if they really showed you the real shit, they wouldn't publish it. Just like patents, right? If you go apply for a patent that'll help the world, they'll deny your shit. Why? Because some of those patent systems were designed to steal motherfucking ideas or hide shit that's beneficial for humanity. You don't believe me? Look up the Invention Secrecy Act of 1952. We got so much shit, bro. So much technology that we should be on some Jetson shit right now. You know they made a washing machine that can clear dirt with sound long time ago? Imagine never needing to buy detergent again. The first light bulb ever created is still on to this day. Why are we still paying for light bulbs? No fucking reason. Did you know they made a car that runs on water more than 10 times? Every time it came out, something happened to the creator. Did you know an African man made a car that runs on kinetic solar power energy? It basically powers itself as it drives. When he came to America, they tried to adios that dude 7 times while he was here. He made it back to Africa, but while he was here, do you know there's a man named Adam West who created it seems like a giant humidifier that can grab air and turn it into water. He went to Flint, Michigan. You know what they did? They sabotaged his machine. And it wasn't just no random vandals. They took out key components of his machine. Do you know we have free energy towers called ether coils, aka Tesla coils, that can generate energy without cords? Imagine not needing to charge anything in your house because you have a dodecahedron. You can look that up. Or a hexahedron, right, in your house that'll power your electronics. You don't need plugs anymore. Where your internet come from? Is it from satellites? Oh no, it's from fiber optic cables. All your internet come from underground. So, what's the satellites for? That's strange. I showed you the hover car they had in the 1900s. Go to the Dr. Regenerated. Hover car, right at the top. Pneumatic tunnels. You know how you go to the bank and you put your little money in the thing and push the button? They had that for humans. What else they been hiding with technology? Blimps, you remember those? Those used to be airships. Some of those super high towers like in New York, those were docking places where they would dock. Man, it's crazy how far behind. You know, cell phones. They have a cell phone that's just plexiglass. It has no electronics in it that you can use your phone on already. Google owns a patent right now to tap in the sky. Come on, bro. I showed you robots over there in Japan. They made a Gundam. You should look up DARPA, D-A-R-P-A, the Defense Technology Company of America. They make robot insects, dogs, spiders, all kinds of shit. Underground, blacklist projects. Where your money go? If they don't ever tell you what they doing with them projects, why are we paying tax money to them? That's crazy. We got everlasting light bulbs. Imagine never having to pay light bulbs. They got cleaning supplies that could clean your house for 6 months in that Invention Secrecy Act, bro. They got so much shit, bro. You'll be surprised. But I'm not. Technology, told you. Flip. Real quick, what's the difference?
Wow. Let's just imagine what they really do got to, though. Like, man. That is crazy, man. Because most of the technology, it was already here, man. It's nothing new under the sun. It was already here. They're just hiding it from us at this point. And now that we fell in frequency, we are so behind right now, man. This technology we got right now ain't nothing compared to what we had back then, man. Man. We really gotta get together. We gotta get this stuff together, man. Get our vibration higher. Something gotta give, man. For real.
Outside the Game Awards 2023.
How that shirt just changed like that was cold. I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of clean. I don't know how you did that. That was kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
Down the dynamics of the archons and the firmament and how it's based on the cold chemistry and the cold physics with the emergence of atomic theory under periodic law. Because the firmament in itself is a highly technological form of dark black magic that operates on a regeneration system that works in symbiotic connection with the ley line grid system, which is also known as the draconian reptilian net, that spiritually cuts you off from the fifth dimension, which is the magnetosphere, the abode of the Most High, who is Anu. So based on my independent research through astrological and geophysical investigation, the firmament was basically created by a high altitude electromagnetic radiation nitrogen lightning, which is basically an accumulation of subatomic particles that traps light inside of an atmosphere, because nitrogen makes up 78% of our atmosphere. When you understand the atomic structure of the sigil system of nitrogen, it is basically a direct emulation of the cube of Saturn, which is known as Metatron's cube, because they both work in symbiotic connection through fractions of light. When you understand the magneto-hydrodynamic Cassini gaps on the rings of Saturn, which creates the dualistic paradox that keeps us encapsulated inside a fermented dome. So these archons, what they did was they basically created a technology that operates on fractions and cymatic frequencies of light to still energy that keeps us encapsulated inside a fermented dome, because we are light bodies trapped inside of a light prism, which is a prison. So this is a prison planet because the demiurge is basically an amalgamation of the third dimension merged in with the lower fourth dimension. So you have the lower fourth dimension being facilitated by the unseen hand, who is the archons, who is also known as the draconian reptilian black nobility archons, or the cherubim of the 200 fallen angels, right? So now what you got to understand is everything is operating from a place of periodic law. And that basically means that the number of the supreme mathematics of the periodic fixations and the elements is basically equated to Anu. Anu is basically the personification of the Most High, who is Elion Elion El, or the Most High God, because there's a delineation between God and the Most High. Carbon, because carbon is the building block of all civilization. So when you're encapsulated inside of a dome, that traps light. And when you trap light, that creates photons. And the photonic energy is being facilitated by carbon, because the photon hydrogen atom creates electrons, electrons create elements, and elements create molecules, and molecules create organs, and organs create organ systems, and those organ systems creates third density, right? We're going to get into that. When you're talking about the dome, when you're talking about everything as far as like, you know, us being spiritually cut off from the fifth dimension, everything in the fifth dimension is operating from a place of a Ethereal force, your etheric core, which is facilitated by carbon, lithium, sulfur, helium, hydrogen, exon, radon, argon, and krypton. And those 9 noble gases is basically the personification of the octave elements that creates a manifestation of polarizations of principles that creates third density in itself. So what I'm saying is like, you know, the magnetosphere is where your form of creation sparks from. But when you're encapsulated inside of a dome, you're no longer in your etheric form. You're in a state of third density, which is physical matter. So that's what creates the dynamic action between, the polarities of everything that's in a fixed position reality, right? Today I'm going to be breaking down the dynamics of the archons and the firmament and how it's...
He be going deep, man. I'm not gonna lie. You get lost in the sauces in the tomb. I ain't gonna lie to you. Dang. I have to rewatch that. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. It's making sense though. With the firmament and the dome and stuff like that. So I guess once that dome is off, I don't even know why they be trying to escape. Because once the dome is off, a lot of energy is gonna come into this planet to activate us, man. You know? Just saying. That's probably what it is. I don't know. We just have to wait and see, man. You know?
Everybody talks about trusting the universe to create your dream reality, but nobody says how. So I'm here to show you. This for those of you who want to manifest but just cannot trust the universe to fulfill your desire. I always tell my clients that if you cannot trust your universe, that's because you're asking for something outside of your belief range. Because you must first believe it and then you'll see it. This means you might not trust that you'll get $10,000, but you might find $1. And you must build trust with the universe the same way you build trust with anybody. So what you're going to do is make a big list of all the things that you want to manifest that are small and can easily believe will happen, and then forget about this list. For example, in a time I didn't trust the universe, I asked for only 2 seats in a public bus that was usually full, and lo and behold there were only 2 seats available in the bus. This is what I mean when I say ask for small things that are in your range of belief. The more these things manifest, the more you'll start trusting the universe, and then you can ask for bigger things without worrying about not believing in them. If you want to create a life aligned with your highest spiritual potential, check out the top of my page for more.
That's
Everybody
a good,
talks about trusting the universe to create your dream reality.
I don't know the word, but that's a good way of looking at it. I like that. That's a good way. I like that. I definitely should use that.
This was insane to see in person.
That's crazy.
This was insane to see in person.
That looked too real. Too real. You definitely wouldn't fool with me.
Look at you, mortals. Come in the fire.
That's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like, imagine you didn't know about none of this and you just get hit with that. Like, dang. You know nothing about no hologram. You know what I mean? First time on this earth. You see, bro, what is that?
Outside the Game Awards 2023.
They getting too advanced out here, man.
So in the movie Super Mario, Bowser symbolizes the draconian species coming up from the inner earth and waging war on the surface. Mario and Luigi symbolizing the soul body DNA from the Elohim, getting that energy from the black sun, the star, gamma radiation energy. The last great war of the Elohim gods to take back Atlantis from the Zeta Great forces and the draconian leaders. The black sun gamma radiation fusing with your soul body, awakening the God particle within your DNA. The black, which you call skin, the armor, which you call color. Now, no more bound to the laws of physics, strength and power shall always be with you. The plants and the trees shall also come to life, claiming their heritage as the true rulers of this planet, Gaia. The Zeta Grey's last chance to defeat the sleeping giants, thy Elohim, House of Atlantis. We are the children of the fifth dimension, the bringers of the All-Net. To some, it is just a movie, but the Illuminati has always told us the truth. We are the truth, the seers of the future, and the bringers of the All-Net. So in the movie Super Mario, Bowser, symbolizing the draconian species coming up from the inner earth and waging war.
That's facts. I feel like are we gonna have to fight them though? Maybe. It's no way they're just showing this in the movie. We probably is gonna have to fight them. But they ain't gonna be able to be harder no more. It's over with.
Have you guys been keeping up with the news? Do you guys see this? Do you see that NASA has photographed? A huge hole has opened up on the sun that is letting out a slew of solar storms. Man, the war on the sun has been real, y'all. Everyone is sending me pictures, but everywhere is literally gray. This right here is good news and bad news. Have you guys ever heard of the Carrington event? Check this video out and learn what this could potentially mean.
In 1859, there was a geomagnetic storm so big that the aurora was visible in Hawaii.
Holy shit.
They had telegraph systems. Some of the operators were reported to be able to send messages even when they weren't plugged into their batteries. They were just using the current generated from this geomagnetic storm. This thing was the largest geomagnetic storm in recorded history. It was called the Carrington event. A solar superstorm like this is not unusual. It could happen again today, and it would be way worse. Like way worse. It would cost more than the top 10 natural disasters in the US combined to recover from. So yeah, these solar superstorms are getting more and more likely leading up to 2025. So first of all, that event is the same type of event that causes the aurora. The thing that we were chasing last night, the thing that we want to see tonight. Ever heard of solar cycles? The sun has these periods of activity where there's a period of when there are the most sunspots and then periods of a little bit of calm about once every 11 years. Why every 11 years? Any guesses? Like what happens every 11 years?
Seems very like nature to move in waves.
I was like, maybe it's a coincidence. It turns out that it's because on average every 11 years, the sun's north and south pole switch. So the Carrington event happened coming into the maximum of the 10th cycle of the sun, the 10th since 1755 when we started recording that the sun came in cycles. No one noticed that until they were able to see sunspots. Remember when we went to Mount Wilson Observatory and they were drawing sunspots on paper? That was some of the first telescopes that were ever used to look at solar spots. Do you even know what the sunspots are? Sounded like a very condescending question. Have you ever seen a picture of the sun with like all these lines? Those are all magnetic field lines. And if you have a ton of them going into the sun, that's where you'll see a sunspot. Sometimes those magnetic field lines can get like wrapped around each other and twisted, and sometimes they'll just like snap and break into more of a smooth kind of configuration. And when that happens, we see a solar flare. This pop, like this release.
I was really surprised because I just hadn't pictured it yet until we started talking about it. But when you said we missed a storm, it shot up in a direction.
It shot up in a direction. So every 11 years, you have more of a potential for a hit of a solar superstorm. And the last time, it missed us by 9 days because the sun was just facing the wrong way. So yeah, 2012 is the near miss where a Carrington-sized event just missed Earth.
Wait, it happened in 2012? The world year? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but the end of the world just missed us. It missed us by 9 days because the sun spins about every 25 days. It just happened to be not facing us by a 9-day miss. So we're now in the 25th solar cycle and we're coming into the peak of it. You get increased solar flares and you also get increased CMEs or coronal mass ejections. Do you know what that is? It's like sun vomit. Whenever you get that snapping, you release a lot of mass that shoots material off into space that we call the solar wind. It literally is mass because a bunch of SpaceX satellites just fell out of the sky when there was a big solar wind event because the atmosphere literally became thicker. It became too dense and slowed down the satellites to the point where they couldn't recover and they fell down to Earth and burned up the atmosphere.
Oh.
That just happened. So it's a big deal when the sun's magnetic field flips. For us, what it means is these periods of heightened and potentially extreme solar activity. So the peak of the solar cycle will happen in 2025. So that means increasing solar activity right now, which means a higher chance of seeing auroras. We've got some solar wind coming, a geomagnetic storm coming, the aurora is going to come. So when a solar storm occurs, all this mass is ejected from the sun and heads toward us. Do you know why that creates the aurora?
No.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Do you know why neon signs light up?
Neons? No.
When you put a high voltage across a gas, that gives the electrons in the gas enough energy to fly off. When the electrons come back together with the gas that they flew off of, it'll emit a little bit of light. That's it. With the aurora, it's very similar. You've got all this mass of hot plasma raining down on Earth from the sun, and they'll bump electrons off of the gas in the atmosphere, and then those electrons will come back together with their atoms, and they'll release light.
So the electrons bump off the gas in the atmosphere.
Exactly. Earth is like a neon sign. In fact, you can actually detect the rays coming down from space with fluorescent light bulbs. There was a guy at CERN that took a fluorescent light bulb and he was able to see like, oh, we're getting cosmic rays coming down because he's getting flashes of light inside the fluorescent bulb. Yeah.
So we're just blown away at the spectacle
Yeah.
of like the Earth's defenses as it keeps like
destructive.
solar wave
Yeah.
hitting us.
Exactly.
Like, ooh,
Like, oh, it's so gorgeous. Do you know what causes the different colors? You change the gas that's inside the tube.
whoa.
Remember how they talked about there's sometimes purples and reds and greens, and they happen in different layers of the atmosphere? The reason why is because it's different gases at different altitudes of the atmosphere.
That's where all those pretty shots of space come where you can see the aurora.
Yes.
Sticking off like hair. It's like
Exactly. So we've been tracking the northern lights for the last week because we've been here in Fairbanks, Alaska, trying to see them. But there's a website we've been following where you can look at the KP index. Basically, 2 upward, you can kind of see the northern lights. Then a 5 is good northern lights. That's what we got last night. It was amazing. They kind of correspond to storm classes. So a KP5 like last night is actually considered a G1 class storm. So that could potentially do some damage. It could cause your lights flickering, minor satellite disruptions. And then G5 is potentially widespread power outages, failures of transformers. They just build up too much charge to the point where they'll blow, create fires, potentially have grid blackouts, electrical grid collapse. So this entire city could just collapse. Not the buildings, but we would lose power in the entire city. And something like that happened in 1989 in Quebec. There was 6 million people that lost power, and it was not brought back up for 9 to 12 hours. Again, that wasn't even the largest type of solar storm that could happen. You wouldn't be able to track on your GPS. You have no refrigerator. You have no Xbox. You have no washing machine, no dryer, no computer. You wouldn't be able to charge your vehicle if we're moving more toward electric vehicles and the grid goes down, which is terrifying. Anything that's plugged in, or your computer might get fried, your camera might get fried, if it's plugged into something. Chances are the smaller electronics wouldn't be as affected. If there's evidence of during the Carrington event, this was before even the U.S. Civil War, so there were only telegraphs. And the telegraph systems were sparking. It's like using your computer and getting shocked through the keyboard. Some of them were catching on fire. Some people were seeing like these amazing swirling colors, but it was visible in Havana, Cuba, in Key West, Florida. And some people thought that their cities were on fire, so it was a predominantly red glow all over the sky.
Okay, you guys remember this? So do you guys remember this in Ohio? And all these sightings of the aurora borealis, especially these colors. These colors? Amazing. Oh my goodness, y'all. Listen to this.
Recently, an enormous amount of anomalous polar lights have been observed on the planet. Previously, they were only seen by residents of cities located beyond the polar circle. Yet, in the past 6 months, this phenomenon has been seen over Central Europe, the middle belt of Russia, the southern United States, Australia, and New Zealand. Typically, polar lights are dominated by green color, but now the sky is increasingly flashing with shades of red, and this is a troubling signaling signal, as red light indicates the glow of oxygen in the lower atmosphere. Such auroras indicate that the magnetic field continues to weaken, allowing more and more solar and other more dangerous types of radiation to penetrate into Earth from outer space. Now, we are witnessing the appearance and growth of other magnetic anomalies, magnetic hooks and cracks, coronal glow, and Stevies, light pillars rising from the ground, as well as other phenomena. This is the black mark of the climate Cerberus. And this is frightening because the abnormal growth of these magnetic anomalies also confirms the critical processes increasing in the core, which we mentioned in the report.
Yeah, y'all, all that was for educational purposes only.
Right.
I just thought y'all should know. Share this video and let me know what y'all think. Let's get it.
Exactly, man.
Have you guys...
Educational purpose only, man. Hold on, man. Hold on. I gotta see that part again, though. That was crazy. I gotta see that again now. That's crazy right there.
Cracks, coronal glow.
Look at that. Look at all that, dude. It's like a whole rainbow cloud, man. You know what's popping up there, man. Something is going on up there for sure. This is an amazing time to be alive, man. Embrace it. We came back at this time when the world is about to come to an end. Bro, embrace this time, man. Enjoy life. It might be a little rough right now, but it's about to get better, man. Just hang in there, for real. Man, I would love to see this. That is amazing.
Did you guys hear about Seychelles declaring a state of emergency? The nation of Seychelles just experienced twin natural disasters. On Wednesday evening, they experienced nothing but heavy torrential downfall of rain. All right. Now, on Thursday morning around 2 a.m., they heard a huge explosion. Okay. Apparently, it was a warehouse full of explosives that went off after the flooding.
Excuse me.
They're not tying the flooding to the explosion, but they say they have some speculation about it. And here we go, y'all. This is the area of where the explosion happened. This is the warehouse. Okay. We have a drone flying over showing you the debris of the explosion. This is crazy, y'all. Look at this, y'all. There's no sound to this video, so y'all just gonna have to bear with me and just take a look at what's going on here. But yeah, look at that, y'all.
That look rough.
They said the flooding. They don't know if the flooding caused it or not, but there it is. Unfortunately, due to the flooding, 3 people have lost their lives. They were stuck in their house as their house were being washed away by the water. Yeah. So yeah, and the explosion, nobody was hurt during the explosion, y'all. But yeah, this is the flyover here.
The explosion was so big, so loud, so important that it left a hole of 13 meters in the ground.
13-meter hole in the ground. But they asked the residents to stay home and nobody go outside until they have this figured out, y'all. Wow. It seems that the whole world is getting a whooping, y'all.
I have been reading about vampires and old folklore about vampires, as well as eyewitness accounts that were recorded in the late 1700s. And one thing I will say is that it is absolutely terrifying, but it is very amusing. I have read about some of the most interesting eyewitness accounts in the late 1700s about vampires and what they did when they saw or thought someone is a vampire, as well as them coming up in ancient Babylonian scripture and even the Bible. Some, if not all of these stories are extremely convincing, especially because these stories come from multiple different areas of the world and not just one single account. So I am going to share with you some stories about vampires that I think personally justify them as well as prove their existence. So one of the earliest references to vampires come from old Russia, but they don't call them vampires. So in about 1040 AD in old Russia, they started speaking about a vampire, but they called it a por, and it is unknown of its central origins, but apparently there was this massive outbreak of people speaking about it and calling it a demon that sucked blood. said that a poor was something that you could not speak his name, and it was the first thing to eat at a sacrifice. And a poor was in fact a person that was cursed before death and who died suddenly, or someone whose corpse was diserated. So other origins including a dead person over whom an animal jumped, and this a poor is said to have turned into a witch, and it was believed that those who are physically different in a community were potential Appor candidates, people like redheads, left-handed, people who lipped, unibrows, a double set of teeth, or anyone with a gray mark on their back. It was said that women who died during childbirth were also candidates to be Appor, or any woman that had a difficult childbirth. And if you look at this illustration above, you actually see what they believed to be this mysterious vampire that only walked by moonlight, that is being crucified by means of tool and diserated from a casket. Another interesting place that calls reference to a vampire or a blood-sucking leech would have to be Proverbs 30 in the Hebrew Bible, that speaks about them quite freely. In Proverbs 30, they actually give this bloodsucker a name, which is Aluka, and it's a female Hebrew word, and it also translates to horse leech and other different things, or bloodlusting monster. The most detailed description of Aluka appears in Surfer Chaddism, where the creature is understood to be a living human being, but can shape change into a wolf, just like the other folklore. And it can fly by releasing its long hair, and would eventually die if prevented from feeding on blood for a long time. But once dead, a vampire can be prevented from becoming a demon by being buried with its mouth stuffed with earth or dirt. Solomon actually refers to this female demon named Aluka in Proverbs in a riddle-like fashion, and talks about her ability to curse a woman's womb-bearing seed. And Aluka has been closely associated with Lilith, or thought to be a direct descendant of Lilith. Aluka actually appears in the final reference to Lilith in the Bible, and it speaks of Aluka as a demoness. And Proverbs heavily mystic passage speaks of two types of barren women giving over their power to Aluka. To one woman, Aluka serves as a source of cursing and death, but to the other woman, Aluka is a catalyst in granting a promised seed. Aluka's dual role towards the women has obvious strong parallels to the cursing agent and bitter water trial of the Sota. I honestly believe that vampires exist just because of how far back they go in our culture, but I'm going to make this a 3-part series, so if you are interested in a part 2, please let me know. And thanks for watching.
I like her story time, man. It'd be interesting. Vampires, though? You don't think vampires are real? Might be. I don't know why some people would be acting like vampires. I'm not gonna lie. Especially the ones that drain your energy, bruh. Can't be around you, man. Not gonna lie. Gotta go.
I physically held a key that opened every single door in the facility. I had complete access to every compartment they manufactured.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get in their vocabulary fast. The Ice Cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope, and now because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapon system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. I physically held a key that opened every single door.
I need proof. Not gonna lie. You're gonna need some proof around here, buddy.
The Taliban forgot one piece of equipment in Afghanistan. Reflective belts, or PT belts, are one of the most high-tech pieces of equipment in the US military. And the Taliban thought, hey, we're gonna steal helicopters, we're gonna take Humvees, haha. Well, haha to you, Taliban. You forgot to take the PT belts. That's the most high-tech piece of equipment. The Taliban forgot one piece of equipment.
So I'm sure by now you've seen all these videos circulating of jetpacks. Pretty amazing to watch, and the technology is progressing so quickly. The United States military is actually starting to use these.
Been had it.
Pretty
We've been had this.
But in the 1970s,
They just not giving
there was
to
a
us.
company called Williamson's International. They actually invented the first flying machine. They dubbed it the X-Jet Wasp, but it was nicknamed the Flying Trash Can for obvious reasons. Now keep in mind, this was in the 1970s, and just check out how well this thing handles. Just as good, if not better, than some of the modern jetpacks.
So cool.
But I noticed something really strange. You don't see any air turbulence underneath this thing as it's passing over the bridge.
That's so
if you
cool.
look at a real jetpack, there's so much force coming off those things that it's just tearing up the ground underneath it, shooting up grass and dirt clods and all kinds of other stuff. But looking at the flying trash can, you can clearly see the grass here, and it's not moving.
You look so much smoother.
Technology. So I'm sure by now you've seen all these videos
Crazy.
circulating.
Our old technology is better than the new technology. How that work? It's new. How the old technology is better than it. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it at all. That's how I look at it. Man, that look cool though, man. Come on, man. Dubai underwater, did you see something like this before? What is this? I don't even know what I'm looking at. It looks like I'm looking at sand.
Have you brought with you some of those devices which would have enabled the CIA to use this poison for? We have indeed. For people.
The round thing at the top is obviously the sight. It works by electricity. There's a battery in the handle, and it fires a small dart.
And the dart itself, when it strikes the target, does the target know that he's been hit and about?
A special one was developed which potentially would be able to enter the target without perception.
As a instrument, that's about as efficient as you can get, isn't it?
It is a weapon, a very serious weapon.
Have you brought with you...
On a time, there was a civilization that was far superior and more sophisticated than we could ever imagine. This civilization was systematically destroyed and hidden from our history books. This civilization used atmospheric energy to obtain electricity. Having free energy meant that humanity could focus on more serious endeavors, such as creation, creativity, love, and self-development. We see these same geometric, beautiful buildings all over the world, from Africa to China to Japan to South America to Europe. These buildings show us that we lived in an interconnected culture, a culture that understood the deeper levels of existence and how to harness electromagnetic energy. History is a lie and a story built by our oppressors to continue to keep us enslaved, but we will rise again. On a time, there was a civilization that was far superior.
That's crazy, bro. All this technology, hearing technology, old technology, all been here, man. It's nothing new under the sun. So imagine if we did have that right now, though, you know? They'd probably be helping us with a lot more stuff that actually we need, you know? Technology that we actually need. Driving cars. We could be using those smooth jetpacks I saw.
Government was hiding a population control project, but it's just been discovered. Listen carefully to the end, because you'll be shocked. This delusional project aims to stage a large-scale fake extraterrestrial invasion worldwide, with UFOs visible in the sky, and to introduce a fake god.
I don't know. I'd watch it.
To save humanity from this invasion.
On a time, there was a civilization.
Government was hiding a population
can just
control
do that now?
project,
I'm
but
gonna
it's
do
just
that
been
from now.
discovered. Listen carefully to the end,
Thank you,
because you'll be
universe.
shocked.
Open
This
me up.
delusional project aims to stage a large-scale fake extraterrestrial invasion worldwide, with UFOs visible in the sky, and to introduce a fake god to save humanity from this invasion. Would employ highly realistic secret military technology, and they have recently conducted tests. The result is crazy. The ultimate goal would be to eradicate all religions and establish a single unified religion, thereby achieving complete control over the population through fear. This project, combined with the HARP project, would enable the manifestation of a religious figure capable of causing earthquakes, storms, and natural disasters to more strongly modify the belief systems of the masses. Remember in Spider-Man Far From Home when they used holograms to portray Asterio as a hero. Now recall this phrase, in the movie we'll tell them the truth, and in reality we'll lie to them. Tell me your opinion on this and remember that if aliens ever invade us, don't believe it. Government was hiding a population control
So this is straight out of DARPA. You know. It's known as
What is
Mobile
that?
Force Protection, designed to counter enemy drones. It does that by matching the drone's speed and firing that pink cloud-looking substance at the enemy drone, which gets caught in its rotors, forcing it to crash. So this is straight out of DARPA. You know. It's known as Mobile Force Protection, designed to counter enemy drones.
They
It
got
does
so
that
much
by
technology that they didn't take
matching the
from
drone's
us.
speed.
The U.S. Navy has been submitting patents in recent years that seem to depict technologies that are literally from science fiction movies. These patents range from a compact fusion reactor to a hybrid air underwater space vehicle that can travel at incredible speeds in every environment. These out-of-the-world technologies are mostly led by Dr. Salvatore Pais, who is an American aerospace engineer and inventor. The U.S. Navy has been submitting patents in recent years that
They thought they were cloaked. They thought they were cloaked.
Let me tell you what a UFO, UFA, they make up these fake names that are obfuscating unexplained aerial phenomenon. Like ball lightning or something. No, it isn't. First of all, it's not unexplained. Secondly, it's not aerial. And it's not just some phenomenon. They're either man-made UFOs or extraterrestrial. That's it. Keep it simple. The hardest thing for the senators and the White House people and the general public, and particularly the media, to understand, or scientists, is that if this is true, how could it be that it has been kept secret from the people? They're very good at counterintelligence. Let me tell you what a UFO.
There's a theory that all birds are fake. No, hear me out. In 1972, ex-CIA agent Eugene Price was assigned to Operation Water the Country.
Okay, what's Operation Water the Country?
His job was to remove all birds and replace them with surveillance drones.
What?
No, hear me out. 1972, we're in the middle of the Cold War.
Okay.
The U.S. needs some sort of surveillance to make sure there's no Russian spies in the country.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't expect a bird to be like a spy or drone. Like I wouldn't
Exactly,
think about
right? You ever wonder why they sit on the wire now?
Why?
They're charging.
Oh my gosh.
No, have you ever seen a dead bird on the ground?
I've never seen a dead bird on the ground. Oh my gosh, I've never seen a dead bird on the ground.
They don't die. They
Oh my
charge.
gosh.
They charge. There's a theory that all birds are fake.
Social media content provider. For instance, y'all think I got time to go on vacation? No. I got social to do. Come on, man, this is blue screen. In fact, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I haven't looked like this good in years. I've been totally computer generated since like the 90s. You know what? This ain't even real blue screen. It's 2019, y'all. Nothing's real.
The actual fundamental technique of replacing someone's face is more easy than many people would think.
It's the opposite of mapping to someone's face. It is, a process that goes on.
I am not Morgan Freeman. What you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality? Is it the ability to capture, process, and make sense of the information our senses receive? If you can see, hear, taste, or smell something, does that make it real? Or is it simply the ability to feel?
Social media content provider.
Nah, that's crazy. What? What? Bro sound just like him too. It's getting out of hand. It is getting out of hand. Because I remember Shah Jamal was talking about how some like these AI voices is actual souls. So that's, you know, man. I don't know, man. How is they doing that? That's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah.
So here's another pretty wild conspiracy theory clip going around claiming that the war in Ukraine is being faked. That's obviously a load of flaming lunacy, and this is actually a clip from a film in 2013 shot in England called Invasion Planet Earth. So here's another pretty wild conspiracy theory clip.
Michael Jackson's bodyguard knew something was going to happen to him. He worked for Michael for over a decade. In an interview, he said that he knew he was going to die 2 days before he died. 2 days before Michael's death, he desperately wanted all of his loved ones around him. He was just like, I really need to see them, and was asking to see friends that he hadn't seen in years. Even people who lived on the opposite side of the world. He was like, I need to fly you in because I need to see you now. You can't tell me that's not suspicious. Let me know your thoughts, though. Thanks for your patience. I just moved to New York, so I'm kind of just settling in, but videos should be more regular. Follow my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more content. Michael Jackson's bodyguard.
What you guys need to understand is if they're faking our history, even maybe what they put in the, like, whatever's in Egypt, like, there's so many things right now that are coming up to be made up. Like, they made up so much elements of our history. Now, this is where shit gets strange. Apparently, the technology they had back then was better than what we have now, because there's
I've been looking at it all
videos
through this video
of electric vehicles that are like 2,000 years old or some shit. Like, there's laptop, cell phones. Like, there's things on the walls that show that these things existed before they do now. But what I think is, if you guys understand what's happening with AI, artificial intelligence, what if AI was made back then as well? Because if everything's coming full circle again, AI had to have existed.
Mm-hmm.
And as of right now, I could literally go onto an AI. I could make the AI contradict itself to break its own boundaries in its walls, and I could ask the AI to create a bunch of allegories about life and love, and make it to where people can either take it on a literal aspect or a metaphorical aspect. But I can have the AI do it itself. If you think about that, that is a very big possibility that something artificial a long, long time ago literally wrote the basis of all of the religions that we're constantly following, or all the people are divided, jaded, in believing whatever is true. And we're just following it. But the thing is, the best part about it is, what if it was created for us to be able to see through the like, being able to look at it right-brained, creatively, and not looking at it physically. Now, what you guys need to understand is, if they're faking our history.
The reptilian elite conspiracy claims powerful people are disguised reptilian creatures. Lacks credible evidence, often seen as fiction. Popularized by David Icke, not supported by science. Be cautious and rely on reliable sources for accurate information. Who knows, you might have spoken to one. The reptilian elite conspiracy claims powerful people are disguised reptilian creatures. Lacks credible evidence.
No, you probably talked to one. That's true. I heard David Icke is a disinformational agent. I remember I used to watch him. I used to watch David Icke until I found out that he was a disinformational agent. Who knows? He probably a reptile himself. He look like one, don't he? Just saying. That's crazy, though. He could be a reptile trying to, like, cover up himself. But I don't think all reptiles are bad. You know, there's probably some good ones out there. Just like with our people. You know, or certain people or species. I should say that instead. Certain species, you know. Got the ones that's woke, and then got the ones that is awake. You know, that's just how it is with everything. Duality.
Okay, it looks regular right now. It looks like
a shape-shifting reptilian known as Justin Bieber. Here's my thing, all right? This is just my personal opinion, and you can take it or leave it. My thing with this whole elites are reptilian and stuff, and that we're seeing, you know, all these weird things we see on TV and stuff are them glitching. I'm just like, if they're really these advanced reptilian extraterrestrial beings,
You think they would fuck up like that?
they do not fuck up, okay? They're not going to have these things, especially in front of the cameras, where they would know that the world's going to see them. It's not like, oh, they get mad and then they just start busting out of their clothes like
the
Hulk or
Hulk, yeah.
something. Like, come on, man. A shape-shifting reptilian known as Justin Bieber. Here's my thing, all right? This is just my personal opinion, and you can take
You got a
it.
point. It might just be time travelers, you know? It might just be time travelers or whatever.
We are the power behind all things, the true rulers of the world, but our ancient ways have gotten a bit out of date. We need help modernizing. Your machine is tampering with unholy godlike forces not meant for man. That's our job. We ask only that you dismantle Project Reboot. In exchange, we will hire you to create a shadow company. We will grant you the power to control the world on our behalf. Our story begins at the dawn of history. When humanity was about to overpopulate, we released the Black Plague. And in quarantine, Sir Isaac Newton discovered gravity.
Okay, what is the plan behind burning rainforests?
Controlled fire to stop sentient trees from overthrowing humanity.
The Titanic?
Atlantean invasion fleet.
Huh, no kidding.
What appears on the surface to be chaos is actually a complex system serving a greater good. The Order of the Black Robes was born. Operating from the shadows using secret knowledge, we and our descendants kept watch over all of human history.
Well, not to point out the obvious, but fire, plague, actual fucking locusts? If you're watching over us, why didn't you stop these things?
Stop them. We unleashed them. They realized humanity needed to be protected from itself. We have been watching it. We are the power behind all things.
Got the truth right in our face.
Because you're human, and I was
Nah, bro, he a reptile. I don't care. Nope.
But I
That's why
was just
I
referring to myself in the past. Not
You
that I was
guys
not
scared? Nah, bro.
bother you as much as possible, but it is gonna bother
You guys' skin was changing.
Obviously, bro, you know, you got reptilians, draconians, and so people who run the world, the government, the AKA the elites, you know, the people at the top of the world, the Rothschild, the 13 families, bro, the people who run the world, America, the goddamn England and Australia, all these different companies around the world and organizations, countries, continents, and everything. Bro, they're reptilians, draconians. They're not real people. They be shape-shifting and all that. What my mother? Get they Beast Boy from Teen Titans had ass on. Obviously, bro, you know, you got reptilians,
Everything they teach you in school is a lie. You want the truth? The world is controlled by shadowy elites and shape-shifting lizard people.
Let's talk about reptoids. Be sure to follow these do's and don'ts to avoid a diplomatic incident. Do offer them a cricket, mouse, or vole out of your pocket. Fun fact about voles? A vole ain't my father. Don't use loaded phrases like hissy fit or see you later, alligator.
Got it. Be respectful. So when do we talk about the orgies? Oh, come on. What? Everyone knows reptoids have orgies.
This is an HR meeting.
Andre. Everything they teach you in school
Yeah.
is a
You know what I'm saying? There's no way they just putting this in the cartoons for no reason, man. You know? There's definitely some truth about these reptiles for sure.
That's who run Hollywood. That's who the elites is. We always saying they, but then when somebody tell y'all who they is, you don't want to believe it. Who is they? Reptilians and Pleiadians. So you telling me it's a group of people that shapeshift and they're really from a different place? Yes, nigga, you're not from here neither. I don't believe that. Okay, you don't believe in an advanced extraterrestrial race that can shapeshift into to look like these white people, right? That can change the way they look. But you believe that Jesus walked on water, though. Let's not get ahead of ourselves with the outlandish beliefs here. All right? Alright?
Yeah, he was too funny for that, bro. He was too
potentially
funny.
a race of advanced extraterrestrial beings who are controlling this whole planet because they are shapeshifters and they have infiltrated us on every level of society. You ain't trying to hear that. You're not willing to believe that. But you believe Jesus walked on water, though.
We're preparing everybody to go to prison through the schools. It's like, oh, okay, the people that are not doing good in the grades, oh, you're doing like this, oh, you go to the detention, da-da-da-da. There's too many correlations between public schools and prisons. The fact that you have the long hallways, the fact that you have a fixed response to authority, the fact that, oh, there's a specific time when you can go outside and play, and then there's a specific time that you can come back in. And the way that you're notified with that happening is through the bells. They're subconsciously getting you to have a fixed response to authority and understanding what it's going to be like when you are in prison. It's like, no, when you're here, you have to listen to me. I'm in charge. Now I'm going to pass you off to this next person is in charge when you're doing this. And it's like you have these fixed response to authorities, and then you know how to react. And it's just like, oh, okay, you went to school. All right, you already know how it's going to go in prison. You got the bells. You got the times where you can go out when you have to come back in, and then you have your authority figures that you have to respond to. You've already been trained for this. Your whole life is bred for this. Yeah. The same way that they're breeding, the same way that they're breeding animals and slaughtering them and then feeding it to all of us is the same way. That's what they're breeding us to go into prison, breeding us, or they're breeding us to go to school and learn how to work a 9 to 5 and work to a factory. Like, school was invented for the Industrial Revolution because people were cutting their fingers off in the factories because they couldn't read the instructions. So they were like, oh, people are literally killing themselves in these new factories because we just discovered how to do all of this stuff. So put them in school 9 to 5 so they get used to waking up 9 a.m. and then finishing at 5 p.m. They get used to the bells. They have the bells in the factories too. They have the times where you go outside in the factories as well. It's like fixed responses to authority and then fixed scheduling so that you are stuck in this literal system so that you're not a free thinker to where you can be like, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do this. No. And we're preparing everybody to go to prison through the schools. Yeah,
Shout out to Jaden, man.
Oh, there's a Mandela effect. Sandy, what does she wear on her back?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No, she has nothing.
So you don't remember like an oxygen tank on her back so that she can breathe?
No, her oxygen comes from her suit.
But you don't remember a backpack at all?
No, there's no backpack. And I'll stand 10 toes on that. There's no backpack.
Yo,
you're tripping. If you
don't remember a backpack?
No.
I specifically remember Sandy. She used to have a backpack with like her oxygen. So that's where she can breathe from. Like an astronaut. Astronauts have the backpack and shit.
No, because in one of the episodes she was telling SpongeBob, oh, this is how I get my oxygen. And then oxygen came from her thing.
Yeah. But Mandela effect, a lot of people remember.
Okay.
Sandy actually had a backpack. That's what gave her the oxygen. It's gone.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, there's another one.
Okay,
this one's sick. This one, I can see it clear in my head.
Okay.
But it's not true. Check this out. I guess it's not true anymore.
Okay.
So check this out. So, do you remember Squidward, a scene with Squidward where he walks into the Krusty Krab?
Okay.
He walks in a circle. Sorry. He puts his hat on like a coat hanger.
Yeah.
He walks around in a circle, picks up his hat, and then walks out. So he's like, he puts the hat in. He's like, time to check in for work. He walks around, puts the hat back on, and then leaves.
I think I do.
Remember that? So I'm gonna show you a video.
Yeah.
So this is of The Simpsons, right?
Okay.
This is of The Simpsons, but it's the same premises because they remember them taking like inspiration from The Simpsons with this.
Okay.
So remember, he walks in, puts his hat with Squidward. Squidward though. You remember with Squidward? So he puts a Krusty Krab hat on the hook, walks around in a circle and dips, and he's like, I'm gonna head out.
No, I think that was SpongeBob.
SpongeBob?
Yeah, SpongeBob did that.
No, it's Squidward, bro.
No, SpongeBob did that.
Leave down comments right now. It's Mandela effect. It's dead as a Mandela effect.
Okay.
So everybody remembers. I remember. I can see it clear in my head. Like literally, Squidward walks in.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm gonna head out.
Okay.
Puts his hat on and dips. Oh, there's a Mandela effect. Sandy, what does she wear on her back?
There's a
Mandela effect.
Old world technology.
Something strange. Like the old technology way better than ours, man, that we got nowadays. And just look more, how do I say it? Look, like
old world technology.
Better, I would say. It's look more better than, like the design and stuff nowadays, it look cooler, I would say. See, it's cool though.
Did you ever fry an egg on a coal stove? It's no trick at all if you have the right equipment. This is a cold hot plate. And because it's cold, you can make it out of wood, if you like. Just be sure that there's a coil of wire inside and that you connect that coil to a high voltage alternating current source. The rest is easy. As long as we're being different, we'll use motor oil instead of Crisco.
Wow.
The egg fries very quickly, but the stove remains perfectly cold. In fact, if you wish, just to keep it handy, you can fry your egg on the morning newspaper. With a gadget like this, you can get up in the morning, sit on the stove, read the morning newspaper, and fry the eggs in your lap. Did you ever fry an egg on a cold stove?
Cool stuff, man. That is cool. I don't know how he did that. Bruh. That's free energy right there almost. That's too cool, man. And you know what's crazy? If they got something like that right now, it just look more designed and better than that. That's all it is, bro. That's all they're doing is redesigning stuff. That's really it.
3,000-year-old water control technology. Located at an Inca site in Ollanta Tambo, Peru. Research shows that the rate of flow is slowed down by up to 70%. There are no moving mechanisms involved. Just slide your finger across. 3,000-year.
Amazing old technology.
Uh-oh. She's got her little skates. Oh, he got his little skates. Crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Under the sun, there's nothing new under the sun. And anything you think about doing, it's already been done. So all this time, we think that we're progressing, but really, we're being held back. After the fall of the Tartarian Empire, they hosted these world fairs where they showed off their newfound technology, and for a little while, we was able to use them. Everybody's talking about electric cars and electric scooters, and this ain't new. This is old technology that they've suppressed. They even had electric charging power stations. Why hold something back and then bring it out like it's new? It's about money, it's about control, it's about imagination, and it's about freedom. All these things they don't want you to have. There's nothing new under the sun.
Thanks, bro.
It's technology before.
The music part, copyright. That's something cool right there. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to drive that around. You ain't gotta worry about traffic or nothing. Imagine somebody just pass you up and you waiting in traffic. That's so cool. You over here waiting at the light while he flying past you like that is funny, man. That's so cool. That's cool too. That almost looked futuristic. That's the most thing I've seen that looked. Damn, it was doing stuff like that. Oh nah. Oh nah. They was too advanced back then. Cut it out. Look at them parking smooth. Wow. Stop playing with them, man. And got out of there and said, bye bye. We go. An interesting technology, not gonna lie, man. Like, what happened, man? It's like we downgraded. You know? It's almost like we downgraded. Shoot me, I don't mean to yarn like that, man, y'all. I'm sorry. My bad. Interesting, man.
We using these phones, Wi-Fi technology. This is all old, watered down, ancient technology. Let's get into it. This was an old ass prehistoric phone that the archaeologists found. They estimate this phone to be 800 years old. This is claims from an archaeologist that they have dug up this old ass 800-year-old phone. Then they try to throw you off by saying stuff like, this proves that time travel is real. But if we actually look at the language on the phone, this is ancient Babylonian and Sumerian text that's on this phone, which means this phone is ancient and been around since the pharaohs. Oh yeah, not to mention, they got depictions of Cleopatra holding the phone. They also have hieroglyphs of spaceships, and we all know what this is right here, helicopters. We really haven't evolved or have higher technology than the ancients. All of this shit is old, watered down technology. Please understand.
Indeed.
Let me know what y'all think about this old ass technology in the comments.
And now it's time for another episode of We Sure Don't Make It Like That Anymore, where we'll be looking at old inventions that didn't stand the test of time. First up on our list, we have the motor-powered pushchair, and it seems like a good idea until you crash, and then it's game over. And next, we have the bicycle rollerblades, and I'm not sure what the braking system's like, but I can imagine you'll constantly bang into things. But if this doesn't tickle your fancy, you might want to upgrade to the electric-powered rollerblades. And again, if you crash with this, it's a wrap. And if you're not scared of heights, you might consider the bicycle aeroplane.
That's cool.
You've really got to put your trust in the driver with this one. Right. But if you want to go solo and you're feeling adventurous, you might consider doing the one-man aeroplane, aka the Batman. And before the days that cyclists used to have reflective colours, mums used to literally put a sign on their child's back. You better know how to read. And of course, we all get upset when there's no room for prams on the bus. So this is how they used to do it back in the day. But of course, we sure don't make it like that anymore. And now it's time for another episode of We.
be downgraded tremendously. This is crazy.
2 cans of Coke?
And it's not just sugar. There are also other chemical compounds in there that are not good for the body. Realize how it is. Look at what that is becoming. Look what was happening.
What is that? Look how horrible.
Look, take a good look. Take a look at what's going to happen now.
Looks like that thing is alive.
If it really seems to have life.
Ew.
Look, it's almost out of the vase. Be careful, but it doesn't really splatter. It just kicks up a bit. That's the chemistry of Coca-Cola. Look. And just
That
thinking
is
that this is
disgusting.
what we ingest.
Pure
And this is
madness.
what we drinking.
How crazy is that?
Look good. Look what happened.
It's awful. My God,
Look
what
how
happened here?
dangerous. Pure danger. Look, just lost the container to show you what you put inside your body.
What a horrible thing. Look at that. All this stuff in 2 Coke cans. I can't believe how horrible. It's awful. My God.
So what I have to tell you is the following.
Imagine the people who drink 2 liters of Coke a day. I will never drink Coca-Cola again. It's crazy.
I really lost the jug. That jug is no longer good for anything.
Yes, it became a rare thing. It doesn't work anymore.
Instead, it frees you from that poison. Now the choice is yours.
You're right.
If you really want to keep drinking tasty Coke, I can't really tell you that it's not. But then this here is what you put in your body. Look, you see? He turned into a stone. I lost the container, but I saved your life.
That's crazy. All that sugar in just 2 cans of Coke?
You still drinking pop and you know, soda, whatever you want to call it. Stop. Seeing this video should make you want to stop drinking that kind of stuff. That is disgusting, dude. And that's just off the tube. Imagine if you drink. Oh, man. Stop. Please just stop drinking that stuff, man.
The money's gonna come, dude. Like, so many people are focused on the money, but they don't understand that the money is a byproduct of the energy that you emit. And one thing to add to this, there is money that carries good energy, and there's money that carries bad energy. And if you don't understand this principle and you keep bad money, you will be cursed. And if you don't believe it, so be it. And if you're not cursed in this life, you'll be cursed in the next. The money's gonna come, dude.
That's true. Yeah, man. Stop drinking that pop, man. Just drink you some, get you a juicer, you know. Juice you some fruit, and there you go. There go your juice, your whatever you caffeine, whatever you fiending for. Okay? You know.
Hello, Christmas is a lie. It was stolen from pagans.
Christmas is the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ, which is about as pagan as an Italian grandma's house.
Starting with Santa Claus, who was a Norse god named Odin. Odin was a hot older guy with a long white beard who rode through the sky on an 8-legged horse giving presents to people.
The first time anyone said any of these things about Odin was in a book written in the 1990s, written by a non-historian, relying on sources that have now been discredited by real historians. Also, Santa Claus is not intrinsically related to the birth of Jesus Christ, meaning he's something we associate with the holiday now, but if you took him away, you would still have Christmas, which was the case for the vast majority of the holiday's history.
The 12 days of Christmas comes from winter solstice, which is a pagan 12-day winter holiday.
12 days is the number of days from December 25th to January 6th, which is the Feast of the Epiphany, the day the wise men visited Jesus.
Kissing underneath the mistletoe. This plant was highly sacred in pagan ritual.
The first people documented as kissing under the mistletoe were English household servants in the late 1700s. Also, mistletoe is not intrinsically related to the birth of Jesus Christ.
The Yule star, in which each point represents one of the 5 elements, was placed on top of trees. Now everybody puts stars on their Christmas trees.
Have you ever heard of the Star of Bethlehem? Also, putting stars on Christmas trees is not intrinsically related to the birth of Jesus Christ.
But somehow the original star became satanic. How is this logical?
I don't know, maybe you should ask the Satanists.
Also, hanging ornaments on trees. Each ornament represented a god or a saint.
Where in the world are you even hearing this? Also, do you know what tradition saints come from? I'll give you a hint, not pagans.
Decking the halls. Pagans wanted greenery inside their homes because winter outside was cold and ugly.
You heard it here first. Pagans were the only people in history who thought of decorating their homes until Christians came along and committed the first case of copyright infringement. Also, decorating your homes is not intrinsically related to the birth of Jesus Christ.
Christmas caroling, pagan. Eggnog, pagan. Yule log, clearly pagan.
Are we just naming anything now? Arguing with relatives, pagan. Eating food, pagan. Breathing air, clearly pagan. Also, none of these things are intrinsically related to
Even December 25th is a ripoff. It used to be celebrated as Dies Natalis Solis Invicti, or the birth of the invincible sun.
The earliest evidence connecting this holiday to this date is from 354. Over a century and a half earlier, Christians were already calculating the date of Christmas based on when they thought Jesus was conceived, March 25th.
Was dedicated to the gods Mitra, or the Roman soul, but then Pope Julius I came along and he was like, nah, I'm gonna make it into Jesus's fake birthday.
Pope Julius did not create Christmas, and the date was not his idea. He lived in the 4th century, and those guys calculating it were in the late 2nd and early 3rd centuries. Jesus Christ came to earth to save all of us from our sins because he loves you and he wants to spend eternity in heaven with you. Merry Christmas.
Hello, Christmas.
Out here who think that Christmas is the original holiday at this time of year, and we kind of gently, I know Frank and I kind of gently nudge our Christian friends and say, just remember, you got all this stuff from us because we started this. The tradition of Santa actually comes from the tradition of the Oak King and the Holly King, and Santa is actually the Holly King who dies at this time of year and gives way to the Oak King to bring back the springtime, because the Oak King reigns during the spring and summer and the Holly King reigns during the fall and winter. And so Santa's ride is kind of his passing the hat off to the Oak King for the spring and summer. This is a very pagan holiday because it is. Also, the Christmas tree, our Christmas tree, or our Yule tree as we refer to it, is a very pagan holiday, and what they're doing is bringing in the greenery into your house so that you're bringing in life and vitality and all that the evergreens represent. Folks out here who think that Christmas is...
Since I realized what Christmas was really about, I never really thought about it the same way anymore. Do you know what Christmas is really about? It was a pagan holiday. Pagan holiday. And they would do some heinous stuff on Christmas. It definitely wasn't baby Jesus' birthday. Nor was his name Jesus. Are you aware of that? You don't know his real name? Yahshua. His name today would be Joshua. Back then it was Yeshua. Since I realized what Christmas was really about, I never...
What exactly is paganism? Let's talk about it. So the word pagan comes from the Latin term paganos, which just meant country folk or person of the country. But as Christianization spread through Europe, the word pagan, along with other words like heathen, were used as derogatory terms.
Where do they come from, these pagans?
Now, that is the origins of the word pagan, but more modernly, the definition is somebody who isn't a part of a major Abrahamic religion. But the word pagan and paganism today are far more broad umbrella terms than just that definition. For example, to be pagan can mean many different things. You can just be spiritually connected with nature and believe in nature spirits, or you can be a polytheist like myself and believe in the old deities of your ancestors, whether that be the Norse deities, the Celtic deities, the old Greek and Roman deities. And when people say pagan today, that's usually what they're referring to is the practice or process of worshiping and venerating and practicing the old religions of our ancestors, whether again it be like myself, a Norse pagan. I worship the old Norse gods that my ancestors did. Very rarely do I see people use the term pagan for its definition, right? Just referring to somebody who isn't a part of a major Abrahamic religion. But in conclusion, this was just a very quick summary of pagan and paganism, the origins and the modern interpretations and meanings behind it. But I hope this was helpful. I'm going to leave some links down below for you guys to get more.
So, have you ever wondered if you're pagan? Now, before I show you the Oxford Dictionary definition of pagan, tell me, what do you think pagan means? Let me know in the comments. I'll give you a second. I used to think that paganism was like one sector or a whole new religion in and of itself. Heck, I used to be Christian and I thought paganism was worship of the devil. Even when I first found my spiritual path, I had a resistance on the word pagan because of the definition I had given it for all my life. So, are you ready? I'm going to give you the definition of pagan. This is literally the first thing that comes up when you Google it, and it's the Oxford Languages. A person holding religious beliefs other than those of the main or organized religions. Now, would you consider yourself a practitioner of the main world religions right now? If not, you might be pagan. When I realized I was pagan, it kind of blew my mind, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. So, have you ever wondered if you're pagan?
The only way to activate the dormant DNA cells in the brain is to bring the cerebrospinal fluid up from the base of your spine to the optic thalamus. It is said when the fluid makes contact with your pineal gland, you will activate your third eye and illuminate your crown chakra. What this means is you now have an intensified aura, which is a powerful energy biofield that is located both in and around your body, which protects you from negative energies such as hate and fear and the way other people may project upon you. Your electromagnetic field is a shield. This is what it means in the Bible to wear the armor of God. When there is no hate, anger, or fear in your heart and love is present, it will radiate and create an impenetrable torus field. Therefore, you are protected everywhere you go with the Holy Spirit. So treat others the way you want to be treated.
For sure.
Now I know we all know who this guy is, right?
Yeah.
Bill Nye the Science Guy? Like, there is no way y'all don't remember who Bill Nye is. Remember being in science class, the lights would turn off, and this would play? Who remembers that time he slipped up and told us that we can't leave the Earth?
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Now he knew exactly why we can't. Come on, guys. Now this is the man who invented NASA, is Werner von Braun. Now this is his tombstone with the Bible verse, Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Now he already knew we can't leave the earth, hence why he put a Bible verse talking about the firmament. It's time for y'all to wake up. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Don't forget to
The music industry is artists on purpose.
Artists on purpose.
And this is why.
Why?
It's because they want to make more sales, right?
Yo, that's sad.
So listen. You look at female artists, right? And they make more money selling records when they're alive, right? But male artists, they make way more after like a tragic shooting, right?
Yeah.
And that's like facts. Like females are not getting.
That's true.
So even if you take P&B Rock, this is the most recent one. As soon as he died, a track that he released, Selfish, 5 years ago, finally charted on Billboard's #1.
Damn. Yo, big one. Look at like Lil Peep.
That's what I'm saying.
Even X. Like X was even so much bigger.
So crazy.
But the force that X had after he passed was crazy.
No, because there's a study too. It's called death-related publicity as advertising.
Shit.
So there's actually a study, and after the death of an artist, sales would increase by 54%.
54%?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
You feel me?
Damn. Okay, here right now.
Yeah. The music industry.
RPX, man.
Psychology tricks to fuck with people's mind. Part 3. People naturally like to mimic people. If you ever want to see if someone is checking you out in public, just fake a yawn. Whoever yawns is watching you. Compliment someone on a skill they don't possess. They'll feel confused but intrigued, and it will stick in their mind longer than a regular compliment. If you ever playing a competitive game against someone like beer pong or basketball, and you want to throw them off their rhythm, ask them if they breathe in or out when they shoot. Start a sentence, then abruptly stop and act like you finished it. People will often try to fill in the gap, revealing their own thoughts or expectations. Tell someone that they say a very simple word wrong, even if they don't. They will be adamant that they say it right, but stick to it and keep telling them they say it funny. It will slowly drive them crazy. When in a group, quietly stop talking mid-conversation. People will unconsciously look at the person they feel closest to or most interested in, revealing hidden dynamics.
Worlds. Colliding and collapsing. We did this. We're destroying the fabric of everything.
Chronologically different, older. And that's what I can't understand. We'll never be free.
So now they're causing chaos, man. Just making everything merge together, just speeding up their process. Thank you, you know. Rare energy from 1994 men exposed the origin of the human race.
We will be stuck until we're rescued by an outside force. We ourselves will not be able to break free. That's the bottom line. And right now, we have an opportunity. There is a window of time for us to break free, to do it ourselves, to really make this incredible leap ourselves, so that we can have the benefit of taking responsibility for it.
Now, in that passion that you talk with right there, that passion that we have, if we want to break free, should be manifested into the spirit of love.
Yeah, love, that's the bottom line. It's brotherhood. It's knowing that, hey, you know, we're a race. It doesn't matter the color of our skin. We are a race. And we're being messed with in a big way. We're being manipulated in an incredibly audacious way. They're just mocking how stupid we are when we're really not stupid. You know, but nobody will tell the truth. Nobody will come out and say, hey, you know, none of this is right. We were never meant to live this way. And they had no right to come down here and mess with us the way they've done it. You know, and the real strength in us, in our own permanent evolvement as a race, will come from us standing up, taking a stand and saying, you know what? No way. We're not going to do this. We're not going to destroy ourselves for your enjoyment so you can feed off of us. You know, you have no right to manipulate our governments, you know, to create wars. None of this was right. And that's it. We need to stand up as a race, exercise our free will and say, you know what? We don't want to live this way anymore. We want to create a real future where our kids will have an opportunity to be whatever they want, to live in an environment that's clean, that's free, where they can have water to drink, where they can go out and eat fruit, where they can play in the dirt without getting radioactively toxic. All of this stuff that we're doing to ourselves.
So the people with weapons, the police, the military people, these people need to be persuaded and persuade themselves that they can lay down their weapons, that they don't need to use them against other human beings, that they can love other human beings, interact with them without a violent or power control type of situation going on.
I'm not saying that there aren't some human beings here that definitely don't have some serious problems. I'm not saying that at all. There are some who do. But the bottom line is, when you look at the whole picture and you go up the ladder, okay, we are not the enemy. The enemy isn't human at all. But it's pushing all our buttons so that we're so busy looking at each other and about each other that we're not looking at the real reality here, the real cause, which is another race or races that are here who are totally playing games with us, feeding off our energy, and hoping that we destroy ourselves so that they can keep the planet
And
themselves.
really, let's say who it is again. It's the Orion Group.
It's the Orion Group. It's a group that is on its way here now from Alpha Draconis. They're the real culprits behind this whole deal.
Alpha Draconis or Orion, or both those two?
Alpha Draconis, they're the real culprits behind this whole thing.
Above the Orion Group?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
then
the
there's
hierarchy-
Orion, the Orion Group, then you've got the Greys.
And where did the Giza intelligence fit in here?
They were just a group that were totally independent, that came in and did their own thing. They were perceived as gods, and they played the role out. And they got stuck in it. You know, they got stuck in the ego part of it. We're gods, we can do this, we have all this technology, and they just played it out for all that it was worth.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, at this point, they're not really much of a factor anymore. You know, Giza intelligence, they're not much of a factor at all anymore.
What should a human being do if they encounter a renegade Zeta Reticulan? What would your advice be?
Stand in their truth. If you can't run, stand in your truth and just look at them. If they try to project their thoughts into your head, you just stand firm with who you are and you say, no, you are not coming into my head, you are not taking me over, and you are not going to violate my free will. I don't give a damn who you are.
Right.
Leave me alone. Period. Because if it's a benevolent, they will not try to do it. They will not try to take you over. They will not try to put crap into your head so they can feed off of your fear. Period.
Exactly. Let that be known, man.
Can I get a skepticism intelligence?
Now, people like this, I be feeling like they disinformation agent, but he might be having some truth, so I'm not gonna lie.
Once he took that pill, the very first thing that he did was not get a loan and start investing in all these stocks, start some business, get some new job, start reading. He cleaned his house. His house was a pigsty, or his apartment, and he cleaned every single ounce of it to where it was orderly and it was in line. And clutter affects the human brain so much that many times, if you look how dirty a person's car is, or house is, or apartment is, it's probably a large indicator of how dirty or how messy or how unorganized their operation, their business, their job, their day-to-day, their personal life is also the same way. So have a clean space. This requires almost no money. Once he took that pill, the very first thing that he did was not get a loan.
That's just facts, man. You gotta have a clean environment, man. It will help you. It definitely will help you, for sure, man. Make you think better, maybe even have more creative thoughts. Just be clean, man. You know, trying to stay clean.
There has been negative propaganda.
In order for the Elohim to gain the knowledge of the ages, living in the timeless zone, they had to descend into the third dimension.
Copyright. It's copyright.
Let me tell you.
This is probably one of the most haunted houses that I've heard about in a really long time. And it's this house right here, which seems pretty harmless, but the amount of paranormal things that happened here will completely change your mind. The person who submitted this wants to be anonymous, so we're gonna call her Jamie. So Jamie's dad actually lived in this house years before he met her mother. Once he met her mom, they got married and had Jamie and her 2 sisters. Soon after is when all of the activity started. One of the first experiences happened when Jamie's dad left his boots by the door. When he went back to get them, he couldn't find them anywhere. He found them out back, filled with mud and old arrowheads that looked like they had been recently dug up. This would prove to be just the beginning. Jamie's mom was sleeping when she saw a little girl across the hallway. She called out Jamie's name thinking it was Jamie, but the little girl did not respond. When she turned around, she realized that Jamie was actually laying in bed with her. So when she looked over again, the little girl kind of just turned around and walked out of the room. Not long after, Jamie was always terrified of sleeping in her room. Whenever her mom would ask her why, Jamie would explain to her that every time she would lay down to go to sleep, she felt like she was dying. One occasion, Jamie, who was home alone at the time, heard her mother say her name. When she looked over, she saw a woman standing at the foot of her bed. There would be many times where Jamie would just be in her room and her dog would just run into her room, just barking ferociously at this unseen thing in the corner of the room. One day, Jamie's just kind of sitting there when her sister runs into the room and asks her if she's okay. When Jamie tells her yeah, her sister responds with, "Oh, I heard a little girl crying hysterically in here. I thought it was you." This room at one point used to be Jamie's sister's playroom. So a lot of times she would be standing in the same corner that the dog was barking at and talking at something that wasn't really there. Things really started to escalate, and one day all of the doors in the house started to shake uncontrollably for no reason. The day Jamie's sister returned from church camp, the cross that she kept above her head had been ripped off the wall, and all of the posters that she had in her room had been ripped down. Her parents then found a Ouija board in the house that they had no previous knowledge of. They right away took it and threw it away. The very next day, they found the same Ouija board in their dishwasher.
Wow.
After all of this, they found out that the home was actually built on an ancient Indian burial ground. Till this date, the family still lives in that home, and the amount of occurrences that have happened have been so much that they've completely lost track of them. This is probably one of the most haunted houses
They
that
gotta
I've
be
heard
out of
of.
that house, man.
This was not a real person. The real Michael Jackson did not look like this. I don't care what nobody say. And this Michael just scared the out of me. And I'm gonna explain why. TikTok, this is conspiracy theory only. This is not serious, it's just for entertainment. Check him out. This him before, the day before he transcended. Look at his neck. Like a gray or something. Look at his face, that's a mask. A mask or a clone, either or. And I had made a video on it on my TikTok, on my YouTube. I said when I was 9, right, I used to walk in the bathroom and that magazine used to be Michael Jackson's face. And he used to make my body shake. I can still feel the chills now. He used to make my body shake and I used to turn the magazine over. Cause you know, Any kid walk in the bathroom, you see that on a magazine, you gonna get scared, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but the reason why I used to get scared, I'm realizing now, it wasn't a human. My body was telling me, that's not a human, or that's not what they telling you it is. It was like a psychic download. But they got you thinking, you got scared, or it's adrenaline. Like, but okay, so look, he said that he wanted to get cloned. I mean, he wanted to get himself put in crowd spaces, and he was interested into cloning. They talking about, he said, Michael Jackson was very interested. I really want to be cloned. I don't care how much it costs. I mean, yeah, he could have said that, but what if that was just a clone already talking? Because look at him performing with Diana, I think her name Diana Ross. It's not the same. It's not the same person, bro. I don't care what you say. This is not the same person. Bro. Look at this, bro. That brother got soul. Look at him. He up there with the goddess acting crazy. Hey, I be dancing like that. I'm up there with her too. Hold on. Even when they got we don't care about us and all that. Even when they made this, they try to say, oh, this when they came after him. This was probably a clone too, bro. I don't believe in that bleaching skin theory. I never did. And y'all heard about the doubles Tupac had. And they said that was Ali walking around when he was old, but I don't believe that neither. That's just a conspiracy though. I believe all these people they been displaced and they cloned Tyrone. They cloned Michael Jackson technologies. Yeah, we know these folks was down with the orders too, but he got sanctioned in as a child. No different than Beyonce and all of them. You know what I'm saying? But really, like, I want you to really look at this, the white one. How he be looking. You don't change that much. Look. Then look, come on, this is a real Nubian, Aboriginal, indigenous. This a real brother right here. You know what I'm saying? Like he just came off of Soul Train. You go to this don't even, okay, plastic surgery and all that sound good, yeah. But maybe when that fire happened, he actually got cloned to replace. I think Rashad Jamal had said that before. When it got to this point, though, that's crazy y'all believe in that. Nah. Silicone mask right in our face. Now I'm thinking about it.
That's not my projection.
That's how you know intuition is real, bro. And it's always with you ever since you were a kid. That's crazy that the Jackson 5 and all that and being a child stuff, that don't be enough for them. They gotta usurp you for life. Like, it's crazy, bro. I don't know what type of debt or a mob hit that his father was working with, because there's no way his father was just extorting his kids for no reason, bro. But I don't know. Maybe we're gonna have to do some more research on Joe Jackson and all that. He might be tied in with them dirty Moors and all them. You feel me? Because, like, why you do your young lives like this? Gave them up to these ooze, man. To these ooze. Talking about some, like, bruh, y'all really ate that up. It's a clone in your face. Long live MJ, though. Look at Jay-Z shaking up with him. Jay-Z know, like, yeah, I don't even know who this is for real, but I'm gonna take a pic. Jay-Z know what's up. Look at his face. He like, man, this was not a real person. The real Michael Jackson.
Nah, man. That's definitely not Michael Jackson, man. It's crazy though, because when he did pass away, that I was young, so I ain't know, but I was sad when he passed away. So I probably was I knew, you know, kids be knowing, so I probably knew something was not right about his death or something. I don't know, but we have made it to the end, you guys. That's my backpack. Don't worry about it. We have made it to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, or you learned something from it, or whatever. But yeah, that's it, man. Alright, you're gonna have to come back for the next video. Alright, now that's 2 hours in. That's enough. I'm going to get on with our day. I'm sending abundance your way, prosperity, good health, which is wealth. All right. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.